wanted to make a video about my extracurriculars that I did in my undergraduate career. The kind of main ones that I want to talk about are my clinical hours, research, and leadership. So I'll kind of briefly talk about those three and then can make a longer video if you guys want to hear more about them. The first one that every application needs is going to be clinical hours. So that is going to be directly coming in contact with the patient, kind of heading their care for a little bit. So it could be you're a medical assistant, you're an ER tech. For me, I was a phlebotomist where I worked in the ER, ICU, and on the floors. And you kind of want to prioritize quality over quantity. So make sure that you have good stories. The hours don't matter as much once you hit that kind of barrier of 100 hours. I had 1,100 hours. But getting stories from patients, talking to them and communicating with them is kind of the most important thing with your clinical hours so that you can explain why you want to be a doctor in the future. The next most important thing I would probably say is your leadership aspect, and that can be anything like getting elected to a position for a club like a pre-med society or something like that, or you could also do something kind of in the teaching realm. So for me, I was a anatomy cadaver lab TA, where basically I just taught students on the cadaver under a anatomy instructor. And then I got the opportunity to be hired as a physiology lab instructor, where I basically taught physiology lab by myself. With nobody else. I made the exams, I taught the students based on the PowerPoints and stuff like that. And that was a really good experience, just took me out of my comfort zone teaching and kind of making sure that the students succeeded and accomplished whatever they wanted to accomplish in that class. Lastly, research. Research is kind of important. It depends on what school you're going to. If you're going to a research-heavy school or you want to apply to a research-heavy school, that's important. DO, MD schools, I say research. If you can find something that you're interested in, it doesn't hurt, and it just gives your application a little bit more depth. Hopefully that gave anyone who is trying to go to med school or kind of curious about what it's like an idea of the other aspects other than academics or your hard stats. If you have any questions on like how I ended up getting my job or anything about my extracurriculars, please let me know in the comments.